Hi, I'm Trevor, and I'm going to talk to you about something called Rectus Diastasis or Diastasis Recti and how to solve it. What that is, it's a separation of the abdominal muscles after pregnancy. So guys, you don't need to worry about this. Girls, if you want to know, if you've had children, and you want to know if you have Rectus Diastasis, lay on your back and lift your head. Find your belly button and put your fingers where your belly button is. If you feel fingers width separation in your abdominal muscles, then you have rectus diastasis. You can measure how many fingers wide you have. So I'm going to show you 3 exercises on how to fix this, but first we're going to need to learn a few techniques. Before I get into this, know that I personally had no way of testing this because I can't have children and I've never had children. So I ended up having a client that had a kid 4 years prior, and she had 3 fingers width, and I gave her these exercises and these techniques, and she fixed hers down to almost nothing within, I'm pretty sure, somewhere between 4 and 6 months of doing these exercises. So we're going to learn a few things. We're going to be learning how to do a stomach vacuum. We're going to be learning how to breathe with our diaphragm if we don't already know how. I'm sure most of you have learned that in your prenatal classes or whatever. And then we're going to learn how to hold the stomach vacuum position and breathe at the same time. So the stomach vacuum is going to involve using a muscle called the transverse abdominis. The transverse abdominis is the low, deep abdominal muscle that wraps around your insides. So it's along the top edge of your pelvis all the way around, and it's along the bottom edge of your ribs all the way around. It's just this one kind of shrink wrapping type muscle. We're going to learn how to use it. So I'm going to say transverse abdominis a few times, and that's what I'm referring to. So lay on your back, and we're going to just breathe with our diaphragm. So to breathe with your diaphragm, put your hands on your chest and take deep breaths. But don't let your chest move. So we want to get as much movement in our stomach area as we can. This might be weird for some people. If you find it super weird, you can get a light weight. You can put it on your stomach and then breathe into the weight. So after you know how to use your diaphragm to breathe, we're going to do the stomach vacuum. So to do the stomach vacuum, you take in the deepest breath you can, and then you breathe all of your air out and compress. Think about driving your belly button to your spine, down to the floor. So you notice I couldn't get any more air out, I couldn't push my belly button any further down. So that's how you do a stomach vacuum. Now we're going to hold the stomach vacuum position and try to breathe. This is going to be very, very difficult because we have compressed everything and we're holding down as hard as we can. Our core should be strong and tight, and we're going to try and breathe at the same time. So our transverse abdominis is going to be shrinking everything, squeezing in, but then our diaphragm is going to want to pull down to pull air in. So there's going to be kind of this internal battle between our diaphragm and our transverse abdominis. So it's going to look something like this. You go. So it might be uncomfortable for a lot of people. You might feel this almost a certain level of muscular fatigue deep inside your abdomen. That's good. That's what you want. Now, we're going to hold this position as we do our 3 exercises. So the 3 exercises you're going to do, first master holding and breathing in a stomach vacuum position. We're going to start with the table hold. So you're just going to hold like this. You don't have your knees out in front of your hips. You don't want that. You want your knees directly over your hips. And we're going to you're breathing in that position, think about compressing down, 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 down every time you breathe in. So hold the table for 30 seconds to a minute. Then we're going to do heel taps. So you're going to start in the table position, you're going to assume your stomach vacuum, you're going to hold the stomach vacuum, and then you're going to gently tap one heel and then the next heel. So that looks like this. Okay, so you can do 20 heel taps total, 10 each side. And then we're going to do heel slides. So you see a little better. So we're going to start in this position, and you're going to have your heel gently slide along the ground and then back up. So again, you want to hold the stomach vacuum position the whole time. Make sure you're breathing as best you can, even though it's a struggle, and gently slide your heel. So looks like this. And that's it. So there you have it. First, make sure you master the stomach vacuum. Make sure you understand what it feels like, how to hold the stomach vacuum position. You're engaging the transverse abdominis. We're flexing it as hard as we can. We're not isolating it. People will say, you're isolating it. You're not. It's hard to engage just your transverse abdominis and no other abdominal muscles. That's craziness. Not the point. Hold that as tight as you can. 30 seconds to a minute table holds. Do 10 to 20 heel taps, and then do about 10 heel slides because they take a little longer. If you do that every morning and every night, every day for a few months, I'm sure you'll see a significant difference in your rectus diastasis. On top of this, that stomach vacuum position, engaging that can be done with a full breath. So simply breathing in and driving in. So the action of compressing in with force can be done with a full breath. So if you are someone that is exercising regularly and you have rectus diastasis, make sure when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, when you're doing planks or any other core related exercise, you're trying to use your transverse abdominis to brace as much as possible. I would say people with rectus diastasis should kind of avoid things like tuck-ups and sit-ups for a little while until you have a really, really good understanding of your core and how to use it. Planks are okay, but again, I would master those 3 exercises I gave you before getting into something like planking. Not that it's a huge deal. People talk about how it's gonna totally wreck everything. No, you're already in a bad position. It is what it is. Another thing is there's people that will talk about this like compression, where you take some sort of band and you wrap it around and you wear it for a duration. I've seen people get success without it, so you can try it if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. Try this out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and don't forget, make your form fit.